Looking to trade your old bulk for some of the latest Pokemon booster boxes? Well, check ccgcastle.com. The process is very simple. Send in 1400 cards and get a brand new sealed booster box back. We ship boxes worldwide for free once we get your cards. Make sure to check video description or check ccgcastle.com for more information. How's it going, Pokefans? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at Aerodactyl deck in the standard format. So this is gonna be definitely one interesting deck, and yeah, one of my favorite decks definitely. For a long time, I played a couple versions of this deck, and right now when we have Tapu Lele in the format, it's even much more easier to pull that Archie Ace in the hole. Anyways, this deck will not contain maintenance or trainer's mails because I didn't find too much space for them. I actually decided to build this time another strategy because meta actually shifted a lot. And probably you're just gonna notice that Talonflame is here, of course, for the one reason. If you start with Talonflame, you can use advantage of the Aero Blitz. On the other side, Jet Draft can go for 120, and right now we actually have Choice Band card, which can actually add 3 damage counters. If you can start with the Jet Draft for like 150, you're not gonna be able to go for the one-hit knock against your opponent. Tapu Lele, because Tapu Lele is 170 HP Pokemon. Of course, if we have Omastar break on the bench and if we can use Dangerous Tentacle, then we can easily license our opponent Tapu Lele for 2 prize cards if we have in addition Professor's Kukui. But the things are going to be much more easier, especially with a Team Mega Secret Base around, because we can force our opponent to take 2 damage counters to all of his Pokemon that he decided to put on the bench, which is even a bigger advantage because we can then in that situation one-hit knock at even Pokemon with 190 HP, for example Turtonator GX, if he will have 2 damage counters on it. And that's pretty much it. That's the strategy. The strategy is to start with the Talonflame, dig somehow with Old Emperor Aerodactyl, your Aerodactyls of course, and once you set up your Omastar, you can use Restoring Beam and put Aerodactyls for free on the bench, and later you can just search or maybe Lysander your opponent Pokemon on the bench with a Dangerous Tentacle. So I'm running 14 Pokemon, 40 trainer cards, and 6 energies, 4 line of the Octillery, 2 Tapu Lele GX with the Wonder Tag and Tapu Cure, and of course 2-1-1 line of Omastar Break, and Octillery even for that Abyssal Hand. Item cards, 1 copy of Escape Rope, as always very good card. Plenty of you probably knows that Escape Rope is one of my favorite item cards because it can also be free Lysander, but it can also help us to just move that Tapu Lele from the active position. 2 copies of Field Blower, very important to be able to remove tool cards from opponent Pokemon in play, maybe even Stadium if it's necessary. 2 copies of Fossil Excavator Kit, and 4 Old Ember Aerodactyls, so we can basically look at the bottom 7 cards, and if we can find Aerodactyl, we can put him on the bench. Then of course I'm running 4 Puzzle of Times, very good card. I mean, with Puzzle of Time, playing 2 of them at the same time, you can just pick any 2 cards from the discard pile, and so many times this can be very crucial for the victory. 1 copy of Rescue Stretcher, which I would also even considering taking another one, 1 copy of Special Charge, and also 1 copy of Town Map, just in case if our Aerodactyls are priced, so we can actually search. We can actually pick them much easier with a town map because we can just reveal those prize cards. 4 Ultra Balls and 3 V Seekers, pretty much no need for the 4th one because we're running also 4 pieces of puzzles. Support also Stadium, as I mentioned it at the beginning of the video, is Team Mega Secret Base. Support line, a little bit different than usual standard list because there are 2 copies of Archie's Ace in the Hole, mainly because I'm running 2 Tapu Leles. So if I start with the 1, I can also play another Tapu Lele for Archie, but in the worst possible scenario, if I was forced to discard my Archie at the beginning of the turn 1, I can still have another one for that Tapu Lele play into another one, just in case if I need it. Hex Maniac, of course, times 1. Lysander times 1. Mainly because Dangerous Tentacle. 2 copies of N and 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Yeah, probably a little bit low amount of supporter cards, 7 at least would be nice. but as long as I can start with the Talonflame, I guess I'm gonna be happy even with just 2 copies of N. 1 Kukui for extra 20. Of course, very important card here is the Teammates. Now 3 tool cards, 2 choice bands and 1 float stones, and of course 6 energies. 4 of them are gonna be double cores and 2 of them are gonna be just regular psychic energies. If you wonder why, mainly because not pure GX. And that's pretty much it. That's the deck list that I'm going to use in today's video. I hope you guys are going to enjoy watching it, and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already didn't. If you're looking for any of these cards, make sure to check ccgksl.com. If you're looking to trade your bulk for some of the latest boosted boxes, you can also do that. All informations are available in my video description. If you need to know anything, just leave a comment below or send me a message and I'm going to definitely respond to you. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action. So see you in the game. Okay, so looks like I'm gonna start first here. So taking a closer look at my opening hand. Yeah, let's take the risk here with that mulligan. Basically, I'm looking forward somehow to get, if it's possible, energy in my opening hand. What about this hand? Yeah, I'm also gonna throw it out. I don't feel comfortable with it. I really don't feel comfortable with this opening hand. I think I cannot do too much with it. So let's just pass the turn back to opponent and see. Okay, right now I don't have any Pokemon in my hand. And this time I'm gonna start with my Tapu Lele GX. Okay, so I will not have that option to search my cards with the Talonflame, but it's okay, mainly because at least I have that old Ember in my hand and those Fossil Excavator kits, so I might be able to set up pretty much fast and play those Aerodactyls. The question just is, will I be able maybe somehow to set up basically my Omastar in play and even a later Omastar break, so I can just Lysander my opponent Pokemons in play. So far so good. Yeah, I guess I can play that Team Magma Secret Base, but against my opponent this really makes no sense. Let's force him with something like Escape Rope, so we can have that free retreat option. And more than that, this looks to me like 1 copy of Ultra Ball could be played this turn, so I can discard Omastar and Talonflame into my discard pile and just pick another Tapu Lele. Also, I'm gonna throw out that Stadium card, mainly because I really want to have option to maybe play my Archie next turn, so this is probably gonna be a retreat into his Magikarp, but I might be completely wrong here. We shall see. At least I provided my opponent with Team Magma Secret Base, so as long as there is Team Magma Secret Base, he's gonna be more than happy to see that. Alright, so there is level ball for the Remoraid. Worst possible scenario, I guess I can always play my Tapu Lele into the Lysander and take the knockout against one of his Magikarps with 20 damage counters. That can always be a good option. But he actually surprised me with the N. Okay, so I'm back to 6 cards in my hand, and there is 1 Psychic Energy, but more than that, nothing else that can be really useful. At least that Sycamore for 7, of course, and maybe Hex Maniac in my hand. How the things looking right now? I'm just, to be honest, looking forward to play my Sycamore for 7. I think Hex Maniac really doesn't make too much sense in this situation. I mean, I can even try to do that, but how the things looking on right now? Probably he will just keep his Magikarp in the active position and set up his bench with those Magikarps, so he can try to... Oh no, he decided to retreat down to his Magikarp. That's very interesting. Well, if that's the case, I'm gonna do reverse tactic here. So I'm actually gonna retreat and bite his Magikarp for like 30, which will be more than enough for the knockout. So yeah, Old Ember Aerodactyl is really not worth to play, at least not for now. So I'm definitely gonna retreat into my Aerodactyl and just bite my opponent for like 30. Of course I'm gonna take 6 damage counters back, but at least I can recover that puzzle of time. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna recover puzzle of time, no doubt about it. 2 pieces of puzzles can easily provide me with something like Ultra Ball and probably maybe even Escape Rope. So I can take Nugget again, one of his Magikarps. Oh, but so far he have 4 of them to play, which means we're gonna exchange prize for prize. The only huge advantage for my opponent is the fact that I have Tapu Lele available on my bench, and he actually decided to end me one more time, which is quite a bit interesting. He also had that Rhymerite on his bench available. Oh yeah, so right now he actually have 4 Magikarps on his bench. And possibly 210 damage counters, double Course Energy, and 1 Gyarados. So all he will need is just a DC and Gyarados, and of course my Aerodactyl will be knocked out. If that's not gonna happen, well, then I can actually respond back, knocking out my opponent, Mr. Mime, but he actually have that Gyarados, and that's gonna be the knockout. The good thing is that as long as I have that Team Aqua Secret Base, and as long as my opponent... Oh, interesting. So he attached double Course Energy to wrong Magikarp. That's the face plan. Yeah, that things actually happen quite a bit often, especially here on TCGO. That's... not sure how to describe that glitch. I mean, I'm not gonna even say that's a glitch, but it's definitely weird. Let's just go with Kukui for now. Let's see what we can find with it. Okay, Choice Band definitely gonna be attached because it's a loose card in this matchup. And I'm also thinking about something like... yeah, I'm just energy attachment to my regular Aerodactyl, and more than that, I have Knockout available, which means I'm probably just gonna go for that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go for the old Emperor Aerodactyl, no question about that. I really need it, especially for that teammates, which I have at this moment in my hand. Or maybe... yeah, I cannot see my discard pile. That's a bad thing. Yeah, let's go for the old Amber. I'm gonna play Rescue Stretcher next turn anyways with my teammates if of course I survived this turn without being N. And no, he decided to play Sycamore for 7. So that mistake actually cost my opponent a lot. Right now I have 2 prize cards advantage. And of course he will take the first knockout here. There is no question about that with the full retaliation. But right now at least I have that teammates available. So right now the teammates can be activated for any 2 cards. And ooh, interesting. There is Archie in my hand. So maybe I can even somehow pull the Archie here. I can play Puzzle of Time, and I can play Old Amber, and then I can play my Ultra Ball, and I can actually have Archie available. So let's first go with something like a Ultra Ball. Alright, mainly for nothing. Then of course energy needs to be attached somewhere. And of course energy will be attached somewhere. Yeah, very interesting top deck will be with that Archie. There is no question about that. So I can definitely have my Archie for that Omastar. And I can basically right now search my deck for free and grab those Aerodactyls for free. But right now I don't have too many of them. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna jet draft my opponent for like 120 and took 6 damage counters back, and basically what I'm gonna take here, it's going to be that Aerodactyl because I desperately need them. Alright, there we go. Hopefully, I can next turn pick up somehow that draw support with my Topple ALM. There's a teammates also for my opponent. Well, at least it's not a Lysander, so that's something. I'm still having a hard time here fighting that rescue stretcher or maybe another piece of puzzle. That's very important in this situation because I really need another attacker in play. Topple L is not a good attacker. I mean, yeah, with the Topple L I can hit for 100, but that's still not enough for the knockout. I can go max for 100, and I'm speaking about hitting with Kukui for 100. Of course, discarding another double course energy not makes too much sense. So there is another Magikarp and immediately double course energy attached. And yeah, full retaliation for plenty of damage counters. 210. I'm still in one price advantage over my opponent, but yeah, this is not good how it looks right now. I managed to top deck N. So I'm definitely gonna throw out something like Ultra Ball from my hand, Talonflame and Old Amber into the nothing. I'm gonna play that and in hope to find basically Aerodactyl with my Omastar. It looks like that's gonna happen, so I will definitely have knockout over my opponent Gyarados right now, which is very important. This restoring beam right now actually saves the day, and that double course energy draw. So let's just retreat and take the knockout with the Jet Draft over that Gyarados for like 120. What should I grab here? Well, in this case, I can definitely pick that Octillery. There is no sense to play N, especially to end myself down to 2 cards. That's the something that my opponent really wants to do. But me, right now, really not looking forward to do that. On the other side, Magikarp and Gyarados, that's fine. Rescue Stretcher for another Gyarados, of course. Oh no, he decided to shuffle them back, so probably another Sycamore can be expected here. Or maybe even N. Okay, so he took Gyarados and Special Charge. And I'm not even sure how many energies do I have in my discard pile. I have 1 double course energy and 2 in play, which means I still have 1 double course energy in my deck. And I'm definitely searching for that Rescue Stretcher. I mean, right now, Rescue Stretcher is the card that I desperately need. Whew. And I can pick 2 cards with the teammates. The one can be Rescue Stretcher, and then another one needs to be... yeah, definitely teammates, no question about that, for Rescue Stretcher and for that double course energy. Or I can do maybe something better. I cannot do nothing better than that. I mean, I definitely need Rescue Stretcher and I definitely need that double course energy. So I can knock out my opponent Gyarados. Alright, let's just reshuffle back those Aerodactyls into the deck. And let's use that Restoring Beam for 1 Aerodactyl. I mean, I'm still 2 price cards advantage over my opponent, so I'm not gonna complain. I can one-hit knock out his Gyarados, and as long as I will have that V Secret for teammates available in my hand, I have victory, that's obvious, because I'll be able to just V Secret for teammates and grab myself 2 puzzle of times. In this situation, right now, my opponent also needs extra Magikarp and Gyarados on his bench, and he definitely wants to end me down to 1 card, but how the things looking right now, this might not happen. So there's a Beazle hand for 1 card, and he definitely don't wants to play something like N here. He definitely wants to go with the Sycamore for 7 and grab himself another Magikarp on the bench and Gyarados, so he can strike me for like 150 or 120 at least. So let's see if that's gonna be possible. So there is a Gyarados, and there's another oh no, it's a Mr. Mime, it's not a Magikarp, so he don't even have enough resources right now or damage counters, and that's it. So that's the victory. So actually my opponent decided to concede, and I managed to take the victory against deck that actually won even some of the big tournaments in the Pokemon TCG. So that's the GG.